Eurovision 2025, where it all begins again.
Again.
In Switzerland.
Again.
Again.
Is it all beginning in Switzerland again because that's where the first one was?
Yes.
All right, okay.
It's like it's coming home. It's the homecoming.
Yeah, okay.
Or, yeah.
Right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. We're doing Shite Or Alright.
Yes, if you come here expecting Al Bumble, then...
You're very much mistaken.
Yes, that will be back in a month or so.
Yes.
When we've got the Eurovision thing out of the way.
Yes, because it is in the way at the moment.
Well, it's been in the way for the last 3 or 4 months, hasn't it? So...
In my head, anyway.
Yes.
Not everybody's, because they're normal.
Well, I didn't like to say anything, but...
That's okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Eurovision.
We're going to review the Eurovision songs that you didn't listen to the first time.
Yes.
No?
Well, in some cases, which I'd never listened to in the first place.
Yes. And I'll be honest, from across the other side of the living room,
yes,
having listened to you sat over here quietly stewing whilst watching hooky streams of national finals on your
not
laptop.
Hooky streams. Usually they're on the actual normal, like, YouTube thing.
Anyway, from the other side of the room, the amount of scowling and muttering that has been going on this year does not suggest that we are in for a vintage year.
I don't know. It's very yeah. It's
You're not selling it to me.
There's been a lot going on since the frankly fuck up of last year.
What was the frankly fuck up?
Well, you know, Joost.
Oh, we've all forgotten about it, haven't we?
Well, we haven't. I mean, he's done all right out of it, bless him. So, yay. So I think a lot has happened, and there seems to be an undercurrent.
But we're all still friends, and all still united by music.
Well, yeah, that still is the motto
of Junior Eurovision, which somehow has ended up attached to the adult competition.
Yes. There's a lot of undercurrents going on this year that might explain...
That might make a mess of everything.
Well, possibly. So this year is the 69th Eurovision.
Hey!
Yes. There is a vague undercurrent of adultness, should we say, which it is an adult contest, so I don't know what the fuss is about.
Okay, but it's traditionally been quite either universal or PG at worst.
Yes, there's nothing that's awful.
Right.
There's one song in particular that's got a lot of coverage.
Yes.
And boy, are they milking it. And boy, well done for them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, but we will come to those things when the time is prescient.
When the time is nigh.
Now, I've got a little diagram here.
Got a little puppy, little dog of my own, yeah. Pooper, pooper, scooper.
Not done by the Strumpfen. So I've got a little diagram here.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a range of acts this year. So we've got almost exactly the same amount of men, women and duos and groups.
Right.
Which is kind of going against the trend of music at the moment.
Yeah, because all pop is female.
All pop is female and all pop is mainly single songwriter things.
Yeah.
Groups seem quite hard to sell.
It's mainly hyper-polished American girlies.
Yes.
So.
But there is a lot of kind of difference going on
Yeah.
which is quite nice. You'll also notice on my little infographic that some of them are coloured in.
Sorry, let me just provide some context for the listener here. The infographic is using an excess of word art where instead of highlighting cells in a table and colouring those in, just the text has been highlighted and coloured in.
Yeah.
And if it was printed, it wouldn't be legible.
No, it wouldn't.
Because the red on the magenta background never is.
Yeah, but it never. But it's only for me, so I've just done it quickly.
Okay.
So the coloured-in ones.
Yeah.
Are all the songs not in English?
Okay.
So we've got a lot compared with previous years.
Okay.
And in fact, this year is the first year for a very long time. All 5 of the big 5 are singing in their own language.
So
obviously, we're singing in
United
English.
Kingdom sings in English. German sings in Turkish. Germany sings in Turkish. France sing in French. Yeah, that works.
Corsican.
Italy sing in Italian because that's what they do. And,
except for that bit at the top where they speak German.
And Spain are singing Basque.
Yes. For me, Feli,
I went to San Fermin and all I got was gourd.
Yes. So yes, there's a lot of differences going on.
Okay.
And you will also discover as well that there are a lot of acts who are either A, still trying to be carrier, or
no.
B, no carrier.
Right.
And therefore also no Joost Klein, and also no... So that the baton...
So
still...
who out of these acts is most likely to come on with a T-shirt saying Joostis?
I will come to that in a minute.
Jolly good, right.
And there are 37 entries this year. 37. Yes. Well, it should have been 38, but Moldova...
38.
But Moldova gave up halfway through.
I mean, frankly, who can blame them?
Yes. Now,
I know what the problem is, though.
What?
Moldova obviously haven't opened any new railway lines recently.
Yeah, I think also the other problem is that none of the people in the semi-final of their national final, none of them had actually done Eurovision before, which seems to be a prerequisite for a Moldovan act, is that you must have done it before. You must have gone through the revolving door of Moldovan Eurovision acts.
Yes, I can see. So people do the national final several times before they're allowed to graduate.
Well, no, because you've got like Zobsis Zub,
yeah,
who've done it 3 times. Then you had Pasha Parfani, who's done it twice. And then you got the lass who dropped her mic the other year. She's done it a couple of times. Exactly. It seems to be that if you've done it once, that's kind of a given that you'll do it again.
Right, okay.
That, as I said, there's 37 acts, but we're only doing 35 reviews.
Right, why are we not doing all 37?
So, Israel are being Israel.
Right, okay.
And...
Are they doing a song about loving all the children?
Yes!
Oh, God.
Yes. And it's still, nothing has changed since last year. Why don't they just do a bop where they just talk about singing and dancing, and because that wouldn't be pulling on the heartstrings, would it? And I'm really sorry to say this because this is going to really break you, but we're not going to be judging Georgia.
But Georgia have released some of my favourite Eurovision entries of all time.
They have. So I don't know whether you know what's going on in Georgia.
I'm a normal person. I don't know anything about these things.
So basically, the government are basically cracking down on everything, and and there's been a lot of protests and.
Is this a bit like Erdogan in Turkey?
Yeah,
Right,
pretty
okay.
much a very similar thing.
Bit of politics for you lads.
Politics, and basically Georgia have turned up with a lass who seems very pro-Putin, very anti-EU, with a song called, let me just look, Freedom.
Oh, for God's sake.
So it wouldn't be so bad if they were coming out with a song that was just, you know, Circus Mercus or
I get
Soffo.
the feeling this is going to get booed.
Yeah, but you won't know that because they'll turn the boo technology off.
The boo technology?
Yeah, they have anti-boo. That's why when Israel performed last year, all you could hear were boos in the audience, but you couldn't hear them on the TV because they'd tuned it out with AI.
Then they need to get louder.
Well. So, yes. So we've got 35 songs.
Do you know what? I quite like the way this is going. Because give it another 10 years, I reckon we'll only be reviewing about 6 or 7 songs.
We'll be back to the early days when everyone brought 2 songs.
Those were the good old days when everyone went to Eurovision and there were only 3 countries.
Yes. Well done for doing a Eurovision song there as well.
See, I've been doing this shit for long enough now. I'm vaguely capable of the odd pun here and there.
So we're going to start off with the short.
Just pat me on the head. That's
I will do.
Okay.
We're going to start off with the short list.
Okay.
Because we've had to do a bit of preamble.
As they call in Northern Ireland, the shite list.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
So we're going to review 5 songs today, and then every other review will be 6.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we'll choose who's our winner of winners.
Right.
Just like on Great British Menu when they needlessly judge the courses and the fish course never wins.
Are we going to have a wild card?
No.
That will decide all the songs that we like on each episode, and then we'll bring a wild card back who will actually win the whole thing.
No.
Okay.
No.
Have you not been watching how reality TV works these days?
No. Right.
Or are we going to bring Holly Willoughby in to needlessly squawk at everything?
Oh no!
Or are we going to bring Amanda Holden in to cackle like she stood round a
totter
cauldron
around?
Ugh.
Right. Anyway, should we crack on and have a song?
Where are we off to first, my darling?
We are off to Estonia! Now, you liked Estonia last year, didn't you, darling?
I think last year's Estonian entry was probably one of my favourites ever. So please tell me that either 5 Minoost or Pulup, or ideally both, have come back.
No, they haven't.
Bugger.
So we're starting off with a bit of a biggie.
Okay.
So they had a national final at Estilal, and the overwhelming winner was a man called Tommy Cash. It's not his real name.
Quelle surprise.
And his song's called Espresso Macchiato.
Right.
Now, Tommy Cash...
I'm already getting Sabrina Carpenter vibes
No,
off this.
no.
Does he like swearing whilst standing around in not enough
he
clothes?
Very, very much likes swearing, but there is none of it in this song, obviously. Tommy is a singer, rapper, dancer, but he's most known for being a bit of a prankster.
Right, okay.
Now,
So is this the equivalent of us sending Joe Tasker to Eurovision?
Yes!
Right, okay.
Except a very sweary,
Okay.
a very hoity-toity Joe Tasker.
Okay.
So I didn't think I knew him, but I'd seen a prank of his. He seems to do this thing where he will turn up at fashion shows.
Yeah.
Dressed in a very outlandish outfit.
Yeah.
So I've seen him. He came in an outfit that was just top to toe hair.
Right, okay.
Which I've actually seen,
Yeah.
and I didn't realise that was him.
Okay.
Tommy Cash was also on the album Keria did after Eurovision.
Right,
They
okay.
did a duet.
Yeah.
And Tommy Cash is also does a duet on Joost Klein's album that came out.
I see one of the recurring themes is already out there.
So if you think about Keria, if you think about Joost, this is his kind of thing.
We're in that wheelhouse.
We're in that wheelhouse. This song is also some in English,
Right.
some in Italian,
Okay.
with a question mark.
Any in Estonian?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. So yes, we're gonna watch the winner's performance.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hear a clip right now.
Yes.
So let's have a listen.
Mi amore, espresso macchiato, 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 por favore, espresso macchiato, corneo. Mi amore, espresso macchiato, 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 por favore, espresso macchiato. Espresso macchiato.
And that's the best place to start, is it?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I just thought it might be something a bit that sets the scene.
Right.
Should we say?
Okay. Okay.
Of the oddness.
I think this may be a drudge this year. If that's where we're starting, then I can't help feel that this feels like a diminishing return, because Keria obviously was a very successful wacky act.
Yes.
Joost Klein was in a similar vein, and would have been very successful.
Yes.
We did notice last year Windows 95 Man wasn't especially successful.
No.
And it does feel that the returns on this sort of thing are diminishing somewhat to me.
Yeah, I think there comes to a point where you go, yeah, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the song itself is quite catchy in places. It does earworm into your head.
It does, but having watched that national final performance,
Yeah.
it doesn't strike me he's going to be able to perform it particularly well.
Well, it's not going to matter too much in the semi-final because it's 100% televote.
Yeah.
So I think his fans, of which there are many,
Right.
he seems to be quite well known, will get that through, and people who watch it because they know it's wacky.
You see, I prefer things to be actually going through because they're good. But I'm also not sure what the joke is. Obviously, the thing with the security guards being the backing dancers, that was very well done and very well performed. I'm not sure I get the rest of the joke, if I'm honest.
Well, I mean, this song has also stirred up a little bit of conversation in Italy.
Right.
Thinking, is this slightly offensive? Because he's obviously not Italian and is saying everything in an Italian accent.
But we can't say that saying things in an accent is offensive now.
No, but some people would say it's pushing it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think it's for me.
Okay. And I don't think it's for a lot of people. I think it's one of those Marmite songs that people who like it will like it, and those who don't don't.
And it also doesn't help that when he starts the chorus, he doesn't have something that he can emote into, because it goes, because it, yeah,
it's very low.
Because he's going down into
Yes.
the chorus. You don't have the person who this particularly reminds me of is Rodolfo Cicliquatre,
Yeah.
who, when he was doing his thing,
Sorry.
could, by the time he got to the final, was just giving it everything, rather than the sort of the
Yes.
being a bit cooler as he was playing it earlier on in his run.
I suppose
So-
the song as well, going back to the Italian theme, is very much like Me No Speak Americano. It's that do 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 do.
Except
It's-
without any of the hooks.
Yeah. But it's that style
Yeah.
with the syncopation, and
Yeah.
whether it turns up like that or whether he'll have another gimmick, I'm sure for the week before he will be in Basel in different outfits,
In different coffee shops.
in different coffee shops,
Right.
maybe with Carrier in tow,
Yeah.
maybe.
It's sounding a bit strained, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did have a little post-it note saying, I love Eurovision, so it must be true.
Right, okay. Do I need to sort one of those out for you when you go up to the party?
I think that's a given.
Oh, okay. Right, do we need to explain the scoring system?
So it's Shite.
No, zero is
No,
Parasite.
Parasite.
1 point is Shite.
Trite,
2 points is Trite. 3 points is
All
All
right.
Right. 4 points is Quite.
Quite. Or
5
no, or is it
points
the other way?
is Meteorite.
Meteorite. Or is it Quite All Right Meteorite?
I don't know.
Oh, we've forgotten.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Do you know what? We have been doing this for so bloody long now
We've
that
forgotten.
we really should have got into our heads or come up with a better scoring
Yes.
system based on percentage points.
We on binary scoring.
Notation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 1 or 0. It's like when Luke Haynes of the Auteurs did Steve Lamac's Roundtable, and he did an episode where he said everything's either going to be 0 or 10.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Okay.
It's either fantastic or I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah.
So most things got a 0, if I'm
Oh,
honest.
right,
But-
okay.
So yeah. So perhaps we'll eschew binary scoring until
Yeah,
next year.
maybe next.
How many points are you giving
I'm
Estonia?
giving that 2.
2, and that was where I was heading as well. Yeah, I suspect I may well like it more by the time we get to the middle of May. But I'm not convinced I
Okay.
will.
Right.
Okay, carry on.
So we're going to move to the home entry
Right.
of Switzerland.
Yes.
Because it's happening in Basel,
Yeah.
where we've been.
Have we found Nemo yet?
No.
Okay.
Well, we didn't need to find him because... Them, even, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
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 See? I picked you up on that last year as well.
Yes. I think we found... We didn't need to find Nemo because...
Nemo was
they
everywhere.
were everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
So the person singing for Switzerland this year is a lady called Zoe Me, with both E's.
No, it's Zoe Me.
With both E's having umlauts, which is rather confusing to me because I'm like, is it Zoe May?
Well,
Zoe Me.
that would be Zoeemee.
I know, yeah.
Zoe Me.
Zoe Me. Zoe is actually from Basel.
Lovely.
But has spent some time in Germany.
Well, it's only just up the road.
I know, it literally is just round the corner.
Yeah.
And she is a German speaker, but she sings in French.
Right.
That's
okay.
Switzerland.
Well, in fairness, Basel is right where Germany,
Everything
France,
meets.
and Switzerland all meets. And then people just walk around speaking English.
Yes.
Right.
And her song is called Voyage.
Voyage, voyage. With
No,
the
no.
Voyage, voyage, voyage.
And not Voyager either from Australia.
No,
that's not them either.
Okay.
You don't remember that, do you?
Not at all.
Okay.
They were a soft rock group,
yes,
weren't they? Yes, I do
yes.
vaguely remember them.
Oh, 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 oh. Australian Teletubbies.
Yeah.
G'day.
Yeah.
Right. So, should we have a listen to Zoe
Zui.
and her me?
Okay.
The Voyage.
Okay.
Tellement de fois. Si tu veux, je pars avec toi pour faire un voyage, voyage, faire un voyage avec toi. Faire un voyage, faire un voyage,
Well, clearly, having won last year with something that's a bit thinking outside the box,
Yes.
Switzerland have decided to go back to one of the traditional bankers of Eurovision, which is the dramatic French ballad.
Yes.
Because that's something that's always going to get your votes.
Yes.
But
With
probably...
the little girl voice.
Yes.
I'm not saying she is a little girl.
No.
But she has got a very small,
Yes.
thin voice,
Yeah.
which does suit that kind of production.
Yes.
But yes, it's very different.
Yeah, it's a long way from Comedy Man singing about coffee.
Yes, it's very
it's,
much the other extreme.
Yeah.
I am very disappointed though with the Swiss tourist office.
Right.
Because
No mountains.
no mountain. I mean, some of those buildings looked frankly dirty. I'm assuming they were in Switzerland.
I would have thought so, yeah.
So would have I. There was enough snow on the ground
Yeah.
to suggest that they were Swisswood.
But then I don't know whether any of that was actual genuine
Yes.
scenery or whether that was done with green screen. Because
Yes.
it could have been done either way,
Could
frankly.
have been. I mean, it's there. It's very nice.
Yeah.
The false speed up does give you a slight sense of hope, which is then slightly snatched away.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's it sort of sounds as though it's going to break into some sort of big
Yes.
baroque drama,
Yeah.
but never really gets there.
I mean, I suppose they do then use it to build the song somewhere else,
Yes.
but it just goes back to almost what it was,
Yeah.
which is a little bit
Yeah.
disappointing.
Possibly doesn't have the big drama that Barbara Pravi had
Yes.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it does feel like that you're waiting for her to kind of start,
Yeah.
screaming at the screen.
Yeah. Or going into a big sort of Zaz
Yes.
style crescendo
Yes.
towards the end of it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's giving very much, we're here, please give us points, but not very many.
Yeah. It does strike me as something that's going to score well with the juries.
Yes.
Possibly less so with the
Televote.
televote.
But they don't have to worry about that so much because obviously they are finalists.
Yes. Yeah.
So the, having to impress the televote more than the jury doesn't
Yeah.
really apply as much as it does to the others, because what the jury thinks doesn't mean anything until you're actually in the final.
No.
Right, shall we
Okay.
give it some points?
Yeah, I think for possibly failing to go particularly far, I think it's probably going to be another 2 from me.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Another 2, I think.
Okay.
Right.
Pile of number 2s
Yes,
so far.
all the 2s.
Yeah.
Little gut ducks.
Quack.
Yes. Right, we're going to move to Azerbaijan now.
Quack.
They did what they normally do, which is have an internal selection.
Right.
And the winners was a band.
Okay. They've sent a few bands of
They
late.
they
haven't
had a duo of sorts last year.
Yeah.
And then they had the two twins.
The lads up in Liverpool. Yeah, who I thought were quite harshly done by.
No, they haven't qualified for a few years now.
No.
So maybe this will stop that run.
It's a bit of a shame because it seems to be that when they stop sending absolute dross, they stop qualifying.
Well, yes. Now, but I do have to just say something before I start here.
Okay.
Because Azerbaijan are on the naughty list. Because
Right.
obviously, politically, they're not doing very good things. However, at least their song is not doing it in your face, which is
Right.
what the other two are doing.
Okay.
So if they're gonna start sending anything too political, then we're not gonna have you on the list either.
So I'm allowed to listen to Azerbaijan.
Yes.
Because they're behaving in what the music they're sending.
Well, yes. The
Right,
music
okay.
doesn't seem politically tied up,
Yeah.
should we say? You know,
Okay.
they're not sending a song called "We Hate Armenia," or or something, like that.
Yes.
Or, "We won the war," or something. Allegedly, maybe. So their song is called "Run With You."
You can run with you. We got everything you need. Run with you.
I think it's supposed to be "you," but it's
Okay.
just the letter "U."
Run with her.
Yes. And apparently they were in the running as a internal selection last year or maybe the year before, but
Okay.
didn't quite get there. So this is their ditty. Should we have a listen?
Yes, let's.
So that was Mama Gamma.
And it seems Dr. Frankenstein is alive and well and working in Azerbaijan, if
Yes.
their video is to be believed.
Yes, it's a hive of 80s memorabilia.
Yes.
That's where all those floppy disks went.
Yes. That's an interesting thing because all the sort of the retro memorabilia thing doesn't seem to have any bearing on the music.
No.
I wasn't quite sure where it fitted into the storyline.
No.
But it's quite nice to hear the first thing that we've heard this year that's actually a pop song.
Yes. There's not many of these.
Oh,
So
right.
strap in.
God. You do realise I may have wasted it a few years ago
Go on.
when I called an episode of this podcast Endurance Eurovision because I feel like we're in for 5 episodes of that this year.
Yes. Yeah, there's it's not exactly what you expect from Azerbaijan.
Well, given what they've sent over the past few years, I'm not really sure what to expect
No.
from them now. But that's possibly not a bad thing.
I think the visuals and everything were quite interesting until, ironically, the very end when they came together as a band and they obviously weren't singing and playing along to that tune because whatever they were playing and dancing along to wasn't that.
Yeah. The sound production on that video
Yes.
feels very restrained. They haven't gone out
No.
of their way to make that sound loud, and I think in a big room I think that would come across really well.
Yeah. You've also got that, I can't remember the name of it, but you've got the Azerbaijani instrument in the bridge The ding-a-ling-a-lingle bit.
I was going to suggest that was a balalaika. Is that not the
I
case?
think it's something like that, but it's like a traditional Azeri.
Yeah.
5 billion strings.
I mean, I've got to be honest,
guitar.
I don't mind a bit of ethno pop in the chorus. So.
It did feel a bit shoehorned in, though.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got all those neon visuals. You're expecting something a bit more, I don't know, synthy, or something a bit more...
Yeah, okay.
Tron-esque.
A bit more Tron.
I'll tell you something I had not realised... And I think I just put a few things together. The two lads who come on in the bike, that's the two lads from Liverpool.
Oh, is it?
Turalter and X. I was going, I know your face.
Oh, right,
Oh,
okay.
my God,
I
it's
hadn't
you.
spotted that, yeah.
I've literally watched that video several times, and that's the first time I'd actually spotted that.
That's the effect of the big screen.
Yes, that must be. So, I mean, it's a nice pop song.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them sing it live, though.
Right, okay.
So
we could prepare for potential disappointment.
Yes. I think this isn't really a Eurovision note. It does feel like the type of song that when you've heard it the first time or the second time or the third time, it sounds quite fresh. However, I suspect that maybe after several times, that man's voice might get quite irritating. That kind of Michael Jackson-y, Justin Timberlake-y, especially the beginning.
Right, okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I do have two words
Go
for
on.
you. Because I think there is a career that proves that people have a lot of tolerance for needlessly squeaky voices.
What's that?
Sam Smith.
Yeah.
The fact that Sam Smith still has a career is a testament to the fact that people will put up with unnecessarily squeaky falsetto.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to point that?
I'm going to give it a 3, I think.
See, I think 3 is about the right level.
Yeah.
I mean, I could possibly push that to a 4, but I don't want to get too carried away this early in proceedings.
No, it's only early.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go to Poland now.
Lovely.
Now, Poland are being represented by Justyna Ciewskowska.
It's easy for you to say.
With her song Gaia.
Right.
Which is part in Polish, part in English.
Okay.
Now, Justyna being at Eurovision will set a brand new record.
Oh, God.
So she will hold, when she performs at Eurovision, she will hold the biggest gap from first performance to second performance.
Right.
So Justyna first represented Poland 30 years ago.
Wow.
She's getting on 60 nearly.
Okay.
And
so if we want to beat this record, we've got to send Cliff Richard.
Yeah. Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Cheryl Baker.
No.
No.
No. When your religion is Goa, the words Cheryl Baker are not to enter into it.
I've forgotten about that. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, dear. Right. So should we have a little listen to Gaia?
Yes. Let's see what.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go, Gaia.
Yeah.
They call me God. I'm the love, I'm the light of all. Imagine there were gens as it watches me cry. I'll be holding it close in my
I don't think there can be any denying that what we watched was most definitely the Polish entry.
Why'd you say that?
Because it has a lot of Polish entry tropes, doesn't it?
What with the kind of swirling graphics and
It's
camera angles.
It's big, it's bombastic, it's being sung by somebody who looks like they really, really mean it.
Yeah.
And I've got no clue what's going on.
No, it was very a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Her first entry was also quite folky,
Right.
but in a very toned down way.
Yeah.
And yes, you can kind of see the bridge.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean she can definitely sing and perform.
Yes, strangely enough, she was better once she started belting it
Yes.
out. The first few little bits of the performance that we watched, there was a little bit wobbly when she was sort of trying to control it.
Yes.
But once she's all out going for it, it seems a lot better. I don't know if they're going to be able to do the hoisting her up into the roof.
I think I'm more worried about her turning into Alexander Rybak halfway through.
And then it just disappears again.
Yes, and then the man with the bandana, he cook online.
Yeah.
Who's randomly doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's a bit confusing, I have to say.
I don't think there's any need for her to have the violin as well.
Wow, it just shows what she can do.
If you've got Jeff Ski over there with his bandana and his violin doing that bit, then I think that covers us for the we're doing folk music nod.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do that, you need to do it all the way. Not all the way through, but you need to have a line.
Yeah,
a bit like in Fairy Tale. There was always that bit after the chorus.
Yeah,
where he'd do his bit.
That was your riff section.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't think that's especially for me.
No.
I more admire the sentiment of somebody coming back for a second stab at it after all this time. But
She has tried a few times recently, so yes, she's finally come back.
Yeah.
And I bet she'll be belting both songs out on the circuit.
Well, yeah, no reason why not. So
yes.
Okay. I don't have a great deal more to say about that.
You did say you felt like that went on a bit.
It did feel like a long 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's quite choppy and changey.
Yeah.
It feels like there's lots of bits.
Yeah.
Which does get through things quite quickly.
And I suppose it runs at a reasonable pace.
Yes.
So it's...
And that changes as well, because you've got like, the bit with the quite beats. And then you've got the bits where she's talking quickly, bits where she's talking with the long notes.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a lot of variation. So maybe that just, in the chopping and changing, makes it feel like it's longer than it actually is.
Yes. But it did feel like a lot of song to me. So, are we going to give that some points?
Yes. Well, I think it's worth some points. I think I'll give that a 2.
A 2. I think it's going to be a 1 from me. It didn't grasp me, and I don't think that's something that repeated listens to that are going to get me more enthused about.
No.
So,
okay.
Moving on.
Right, we are going to finish our mini tour with a trip to Belgium, which is where every trip should end.
Well, usually it's France, because you've got to then get back on the ferry.
Who says we have to go home?
Yeah, okay.
So Belgium, so obviously they take it in turns.
By the way, in answer to your question, who says we have to go home? Mr. Garage does.
Oh, yeah.
Because now we can't stay away for more than a few months at a time.
Boo.
Yeah.
So they had a national final.
They did, which we watched.
Last year, it was the Walloons' turn. Didn't really work out. And then this year, we had a full-blown national final. Thank you, VRT. And the winner was Red Sebastian.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now.
Go on.
What was in the national final? I'm
Via
sure
ba, ba, ba. There was the other one.
There was
the
some
black girl singing something in French. There was another girl singing in English.
Oh, hold on, I found the. Oh no, that's the jury.
That's the
panel.
jury.
Because of Gustav. No, I've got no idea
No.
which one of those it was. So
Are you sure it was Belgium or was it something else?
I thought it
Okay.
was.
All right.
I remember there was some horrible sort of very childish junior Eurovision
Yeah, that was
thing.
Via ba ba ba.
Yeah.
Via ba ba
And
ba.
that honestly could just fuck off into the sea.
They
Which it did.
did.
Hooray!
So the winner was Red Sebastian with strobe lights.
Got it written in front of me.
Yes.
That's why I can help out.
And won very convincingly. Won the jury score and won the televote
Yes, by a landslide.
by quite a hefty margin.
Yes, I was sat here doing the maths, I think,
Yeah,
as the
it was
votes
like,
were
there
coming
was
in
no
saying
points.
something's getting a lot of points.
So should we remind ourselves
Yes,
of
let's do
what
that.
happened? And you can listen to this little cliplet.
Cliplet?
Yes.
Is that like a really small clip?
Yes.
Is it just going to be like a blip?
No, that'd be a blip.
A blip? Would that be a bliplet?
No! Oh, go away.
Strobe lights, getting lost in your eyes, cotton candy haze, we're floating around in space, getting tired, I feel so alive, caught up in this maze, it's where I wanna stay.
Sorry, I've just realised I've been very irresponsible here.
Okay.
Because I should have preceded that cliplet by saying it will contain flashing lighting.
Yeah, red.
Yeah,
Flashing
because
light.
it's called strobe lights.
And he's red.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot, you know, it's very branded, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, if your brand is red, then you can't go wrong,
And
can
your song's called Strobe Lights.
Yeah.
You need to be having some
Yeah.
you need to have the, and if you're offended by light particles, please turn away now.
Yes. It does feel as though Belgium looked at what won last year and thought, how can we do that?
But Belgian.
Yeah.
This does
because
sound...
it's very
it's
Belgian.
extremely...
The sound is distinctly Belgium 2002.
Yes. There are a few songs this year which are very the code coded.
Yeah.
With kind of changes of voice and, you know, you could even say, you know, the code was almost still carry on the carrier thing with the different bits.
Yeah.
So you've got a few bits that are like that.
Yeah.
This being one of them. I mean, obviously he co-wrote the song.
Yeah.
So he's obviously got quite a fair bit of confidence in being able to belt
Perform
it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially where, I mean, if you can belt it out on a stage which is way high above where the actual stage is,
Yeah.
doing it actually flat on the ground should be a doddle.
Yeah.
Really.
But, yeah.
I'm not sure where his four friends came from at the very end. Just
no, it seems to be the obligatory, this is a club song, so we need to look like we're clubbing.
Yes.
And everyone's in the uniform of red and black.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Belgian pop music from
Yes.
from 25 years ago.
The
and
near past.
Yes, and I'm
Yes.
very much here for
Yes.
that sort of thing. So I'm not going to criticise it massively.
No, I mean, it does... obviously the last Flemish artist before this one was obviously Gustav.
Yeah, new album out now.
Yes.
Buy it wherever you buy your hats.
He should have been called Hat Staff or something, shouldn't he?
Gustav hat. Oh no, it doesn't work. Does it? Sorry.
Oh, what was his song called?
Because of hats. Remember when I wore lots of hats? Well, that's what I do now.
Yes. So yeah, we've kind of grown. That's obviously they've decided this is what we do quite well. That kind of 90s retro pop dance.
You see, I'm still convinced there was a better mix of Because of You to be done.
Yes.
Because there were certain things in that didn't quite work for me, and even listening to it now, they still don't quite work. And I think there's a better version of that to be done. Obviously, a bit late now.
Yeah.
But no, it's broadly fine.
Yeah.
And as I said with the previous one, this is definitely the Belgian entry.
Definitely.
Because it very much has a lot of trademark.
Yes.
I was looking at the writing credits on this, half expecting sort of somebody like Peter Lutz or Reggie Penkston to have been involved in this, because it has that Joost thing where Joost got Paul Elstak involved and wanted to make sure that sound was right.
Yeah.
This has very much I want to get the Belgian pop dance sound right, and has achieved that. So well done.
Yes.
Points.
I'm gonna say 4. There's too much in the staging of this song that is very much up in the air.
Right, okay.
Because last year...
Quite literally.
Well, yes. I mean, last year, they got the staging of that totally wrong.
Yes.
Which absolutely messed up the song and Musty's singing of it. So they need to get this right.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4 from me as well. It's easily my favourite thing I've heard.
So that means Belgium won.
Quelle surprise!
Oh, right. That's that then.
Okay, that's episode number 1.
That's number 1.
There are
5 more.
14 more. There are loads more episodes. There is so much more dross to be milked from this donkey.
Yes.
Thank you for that, darling. Save that for later, won't you?
Yes. Right.
Just keep that for us, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do we have a title for the episode?
No, we don't. I just think... I don't know. You
otherwise,
can surprise me.
I might call it Plenty More Dross from the Donkey.
Yes, you can call it that if you want.
Perhaps I'll have to come up with something better. But anyway, we shall leave it there.
Yes. Right, we will see you all very, very soon.
Thank you very much.
With more songs.
Love you lots.
Bye.
Bye. I don't get that.